So you live with Snapchat Queen, AI chatbot friends, and them boys. Boy, that's that ice slide. It's chilly outside. Somebody called Jack Frost. No, I'm playing. So look, today we're gonna start with some topics, right? I told you we're gonna do some discussions on some of this language that is out here, right? Uh, we're in a whole digital war family, and people have decided that they don't want to understand American law, well, whatever. I mean, it's a lot of people who has gotten into our government, right, and to our systems, right, and have started breaching our systems. So we're gonna stick in Chicago, Chi-Town, with cousins down there in Detroit, and we all know Detroit is where our car manufacturers ran from, right? And that's where most of our energy sources from. And their whole war mindset out here is to control our economics, right? Everything, right, that that controls our way of life and being, so that they can point their finger and say, no, you can't have that because I said so. Even though it's yours, even though you deserve it, no, because I said so. And we're at the era where it's over with, right? People have their own way of living and their own way of life. They're content with it, right? And you have other people who want to intervene with that. So right now, America is in what we call a digital war. And that's with them tampering into any technology that they can, right, to steal your personal information, to act like they're you, and they're not. So we're gonna hear what's going on in Chicago. This is Anton. I pray I'm saying his name right. The $1 Million Morning Show with Anton Daniels. Y'all check him out and subscribe to him. I love him. He's good. He has some great topics. He gives some great advice. Um, so let's listen to some of the things that's going on over here in Chicago. This audio, I do not own the rights to his audio. I'm not taking any of his credit, but this is for learning purposes only, because we need to learn this dialogue and some of this language that is being used, right? And understand, how other people understand conversations, right? So this is for learning purposes only. I hope Mr. Anton doesn't mind me using his video, but I mean, he does have a great show and does great work, so I appreciate that. But we also need to understand some of these channels that's out here and the language that other people who have come to this country and use passports use, and codes and things, even with knowing the police. I'm gonna put a link in the video so that y'all can go follow him, right? Check him out, hear what he has to say, see some of his videos that he does. I mean, he's great. I love him.
I want to leave Chicago alone. I genuinely do. I want to let Chicago breathe. I want to let Chicago do what Chicago do, which is to continue to be dusty. Honest to God, I really do want to let Chicago, but they can't get out of their own way. Have you ever seen a city that is more dedicated to destroying itself in modern age than Chicago? I have never witnessed it. And we are literally witnessing the implosion of a whole major city. Because this ain't, bubble sack Arkansas.
Now let me pause him right there, right? Because Chicago, again, is where our car dealerships is, and we know they've been trying to get into those systems forever, and that's where you get all these replication of all these cars from, right? So when he says that Chicago is dusty, I have a problem with that, because just like they're doing here in Greenville, right? They see that we have nice colleges, we produce good work, right? We produce superstars around the world, we produce billionaires around the world from this one little town, right? So when people see that people in your town are productive, right? They come in and try to do what they're doing now, try to take over your territory, right? Act as if they was already there. You know what I'm saying? Watch you online, right? Study how you move, how you act, and all that, right? Know your budget, know how you live, how you move, because they study, right? Before they come over here, right? So this is them creating a war within a war that they're bringing on, right? But they're acting as if it's not a war. But I got a problem with he's saying that Chicago is dusty and should be left that way, because it's those people who are coming across this water who look like us, who ain't us, who pushing those drugs through those companies, right? Pushing those drugs through those neighborhoods from off that boat, through those cars or whatever. And we know this, right? Those are the people who come over here, and this is the language that they use, right? Because they don't like our communities, and this is why our communities go down, because they come in through our communities, right? Try to blend in with us, act like us. That's why you got all these people outside here in Greenville now acting like prostitutes, smoking crack in front of the police and in front of the kids. They just out of control and don't care, right? And this is their mentality when they come over here, want to start war with the police when it's them on the run. So of course they're gonna want war with the police because they run, right? But hold on, we're gonna continue to listen to him, but I didn't like that. I had to clarify that because Chicago wasn't dusty or broke until they showed up and started working.
Right? This ain't Bumblebee, Mississippi, or Terra Tree, Arizona.
And what's Bumblebee, Mississippi? I mean, where Beyonce from? I mean, no, she tick. What she, Alabama and Creole? I don't know what the hell they is, but we confused at this Bumblebee language, baby. I mean, all of America was beautiful until people came over here. But go ahead.
Zone or some hidden town with 13 people in it, or 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 or 4,000. This is a city with millions and millions of people in it, and we are watching the implosion of it in real time. No, Flint was.
Now, mind you, he keeps saying millions and millions of people imploded, right? And that's them, like they do in Greenville, built a bridge, right, where they rocking and rolling, right? Built a bridge and what you call it? Bombarded your city, right? And if you look up online, it's called like a takeover, a city takeover, right? So they study an area, see their resources and stuff like that, right? And they see that it's a productive area. They get in cahoots together, right? They make a game out of cahoots. They get in cahoots together, and they come from all over, and they bomb rush the city, right? And try to take over the city through bomb rushing it, right? And right now, what they're doing here is bomb rushing the city and trying to make you scan everything on your phone and try to keep track of everything through an app. That way, they can keep control of that tap and go. They can have everything on digital where they never have to touch no money or nothing, right? Just tap the machine and keep moving. But go ahead.
It was never as big as Chicago.
Now, hold on. They about to do a commercial. We ain't got time for that. But, yeah, go ahead and get your money, bro. Now spending, but
Detroit ain't even close to the size
told
of
you this guy
Chicago as
was.
far as the population. We have not witnessed the implosion of a city, the self-implosion of a city like this big, ever. Not in our life.
Now you heard how he said this was a self implosion of a city, right? As if the city, the people in the city want their city to go down, right? This sounds like a terrorist talking, right? In code, right? As if they want a city to go down because you already calling it dusty anyway, right? So if the city go down, that benefits you, right? And it gives you that key. Well, we at least we got it to go down. We tore it up. We did our job. Now we can go in and steal their natural resources, right? Because we want the technology that's there to help build these cars.
Lifetime. Not in our lifetime. We have not witnessed it in our lifetime.
And of course, you would not have witnessed anything like that in your lifetime, especially if you only been here 4 to 8 to 16 years, right? 20 to 40 years, baby. If you not been here over 400 years, baby, then you won't know. And if you live in a neighborhood where you didn't have to wake up the people coming in your neighborhood, right, to take over your neighborhood by being your skin color, acting like everybody bothering them, then you wouldn't know. especially when you make your money off the local community, right, and move out in the suburbs, right, and then you come in with them raggedy businesses, these raggedy shotgun houses that you bought up, right, don't fix them up, keep the community down while you live over in the suburbs off the people you keep it down. Of course, you're not going to have a problem with the city going down because you're not from there. So it doesn't matter to you that your family ties are there. It doesn't matter to you that your grandmother, grandfather, your sisters, your brothers, your aunts, uncles, and all that is there. It doesn't matter that you have relatives that's in the ground there. So you don't even care about the grave. You don't care about the dead. You don't care about none of that because your mission is money, right?
It's crazy to watch it in real time because it's not an economy situation. You know what I'm saying? Like when Detroit went bankrupt,
See?
and we had less than
Now you hear how you going straight to the money. I told you that's all they know is money. American dollar to the T. They know when they went bankrupt. All they know is economics. How much it's gonna take to bring them back, right? I mean, he get ready to do a breakdown on all this, and it goes back to them going to war through economics.
a million people in the city when Detroit went bankrupt. Probably somewhere around 600,000 people.
Now you see how many people he know was in the city when the city went bankrupt. Who knows that? I mean, it's just like the guy that come up to be talking about the police budget, how much money the police make. Baby, if that man got to go risk his life, like right now, you get ready to have a show about that man risking his life, right? To control some people, right? Who don't got a problem. Only problem is they want to come into somebody else's community and land and take over, right? They doing their job. They don't want them to do their job. Now the ones that's in there the wrong way, yeah, they need to be out of there. But when you're worried about how much money somebody make for you to come and take it, it's a problem, and I hear what you're saying.
A city that was designed for 2 to 3 million people had 600,000 people in it. It was a long time coming, and
See?
we never recovered.
See, it was a long time coming, right? That was them going across the water to recruit against us. That's why I said you gotta listen to the language, right? It's a long time coming, and they probably messed with the audio on this. That's why I'm gonna send you the link so that y'all can go watch the audio, right? Because I have my volume turned all the way up. My volume is at 100. Y'all see that? It seems like when I get to something, it takes the volume away when it's something that's educational and learning purposes because we have to learn this dialogue. We have to understand that when people come over here to this country, right, they don't all come with the same language that we use, right? And like I said before, they're only in American face for money because that's all that language they know is money, right? How much money can I get from you, right? And this is why we have to break this language down.
Recovered from the mindset from the 67 riots. Eventually, we got all black leadership, all black schools, all black everything. We was and still are the largest blackest city in America.
Now, mind you, he just told you they got everything they want. So what's the problem, right? Greed.
Based off of per capita population once you go past a certain threshold. And it was a long time coming. So by the time I grew up and going into the 80s and into the 90s, and you had Mayor Coleman Young, and they wouldn't work with the suburbs, and they had this exact same mentality, but it was
Now, they in the suburbs, right? They wouldn't work with the suburbs, but they are the ones who live in the suburbs, come to our communities, right? Tear them down, right? And try to make our communities ghettos and slums so they can come in and get a job off our communities, right? Gotta pay attention to the language.
wasn't as big as Chicago. There were multiple factors because we still had a strong industry. We was a manufacturing capital of the world. We had all of the suppliers. We had all of the
Now, you know he's talking in past tense, right? Because in the beginning he said it was a long time coming, right? And like out here, they're trying to put everything that we accomplished in a memorial, as if we accomplished nothing, right? And that's why we had to remind them, baby, before y'all got here, y'all is not the first people who came here before to try to take down America. I mean, this ain't the first time you try to take America down using codes, right? If you say you're from another country, baby, just go home. Right? We got kids over here that can do our jobs, right? And we ain't got to worry about them putting spit in our food. We ain't got to worry about them being jealous of how much money we making or they making, right? We ain't got to worry about them being in competition and be mad because they losing and then trying to be destructive after. I mean, we don't have to worry about those things, right? because our kids would do that, well, and we'll do it ourselves, right? But when you're over here speaking this language as if we don't hear what you're saying, right? And we love your show, we appreciate you again. I ain't dissing you, but I'm just breaking down your language so that my people can understand, right? Because they need to understand this millionaire lifestyle compared to people who are of the land who don't need that millionaire lifestyle to survive, right? And we're the ones who teach the other people how to survive in the land, right? When they come over here so that they can survive, right? But we'll continue on to listen to this language.
Auto companies, the Detroit Big Three, and all of that. And so the real nail in the coffin for Detroit was the 2008 housing crisis. Because when physical jobs and physical industries started to be impacted, in addition to the banking system and the housing crisis, and they laid off hundreds, and I mean hundreds.
Now, mind you, he's talking about the housing crisis and relating to the job system shutting down, right? The same thing happened here in Greenville a couple of years back when all the plants down here started shutting down, right? Most of the plants started shutting down. The tobacco diamond plant shut down, CNA shut down, Empire Brush shut down, right? A lot of it went away the way he's explaining it in Chicago, right? A lot of our industries went away the same way, right? And as you hearing him talk, right, it sounds like it was strategically done, right, by people, right, of our color who strategically set this in motion over the years. And that's why I keep saying they was in the school system. That's why at the beginning of the video he named that they was in the schools, they got everything they wanted. They used the school systems and them passports to travel around the world to recruit. And that's why we over here in America who never left the shores be like, well, why are they over here talking about war over there? It's because these people are going around traveling on these passports, creating war just like they doing right here through these businesses, right? Shutting them down, right? Strategically planning on which city they gonna go through, get the jobs and tear it down with the job. I mean, let's keep listening.
To thousands of people from the auto industry alone, which was a trickle down effect to every other industry that was interdependent on it. We adjusted, right?
See?
And
Now you see how they went to the jobs where they knew, right, like they doing now, would cause the most damage, right? And cause a trickle down effect and mess up everybody, right? Got to pay attention to the language because it's about money.
we got a different mayor. We got Mayor Mike Duggan, who was a hospital CEO. And
Now they got a mayor that was a hospital CEO, right? Now, what would you need a mayor that is a hospital CEO unless you needed that mayor to cover up evidence?
he started looking at everything from a business perspective. And so they started working with other leaders instead of raising taxes and doing all of that stuff. Once we emerged from bankruptcy,
Mm.
they started to embrace their alumni, the people that were from Michigan.
So you heard what he said. They started to embrace the alumni. That's them working with the colleges because you got to go through the college to get the degree, right? And usually to get a degree in the medical field, you have to go through like a university, right? Because most people start off, you can go to a community college, but that's only as far as you're going to get is nursing, and that's like a CNA. But if you want a nursing degree, right, where you can stick needles and all that and write prescriptions and stuff like that, you have to go through like a 4 year university because those come with different credentials that the local college don't come with, right? And mind you, he said in the beginning of the video, they have already got all the black colleges. They got everything they want as far as what they was asking for, right? So here we go.
For business leaders, the Dan Gilberts, the Illiches, um, even the CEO of United Warehouse Mortgage, Matt Ishbia, right? And so all of the business leaders, Mike Pinsky, and so on and so forth, right? They started working with each other and working with the city because they knew that being beneficial for them and beneficial for the city would also be beneficial for the people, and that everybody would benefit. And so I have a unique perspective of being able to observe it happen in real time, being an 80s baby. The 90s raised me. I watched the implosion and the downgrade. I caught the bus every single day to downtown Detroit to go to the greatest high school in the city, Cass Technical.
And I'm just waiting on him to talk about this ICE thing because you notice he still ain't talked about what he's typed about with the police. He's still talking about the money, right? And we is 4 minutes into his video. All right, so let's finally see where we get to with the ICE talk. Because that's them talking in code, right? That's them talking in code to each other before they get to their point, right? So, of course, they're going to say what they got to say in code. And then in the middle of the show, because I done fast forward to like the 6 minutes mark. So we're going to see where he at the 6 minutes mark.
Are we gonna talk about you because you're national news? We gonna talk about you because you're national news. And then you got this situation happening right here. In Chicago, sources telling Fox News police there were told to actually stand down on helping ICE agents who are in danger. Mike Tobin has this story for us, all the details. Hi, Mike. And Dana, we've got a lot of rank and file Chicago police officer behind the scenes telling us that they are outraged that the stand down order went out to them after federal agents were attacked. The order. It's a lot of rank and file members behind the scenes. And I've already known this. You know why?
Now, mind you, all of a sudden they're having a discussion about the local police standing down to ICE. I mean, not responding when ICE agents are under attack, right? Now, the officer in the video that I played was explaining how the local government and ICE agents, which is Homeland Security, are two separate departments, right? When the local police get out of control, that's when ICE agents come, which is Homeland Security, and secure the land, right? So, of course, the local police will be standing down if ICE, right, is under attack because they have no jurisdiction, right? So they will not be able to do anything but be in the way, and they don't want to get in trouble, right, for being called out, right, as terrorists. And of course, the local police that are real police agents is going to help ICE because it's going to help them do their job. The only ones that's going to have a problem with ICE doing their jobs are the ones who standing in them sevens and coding with their arms up and arms folded, right? Them the only ones that's gonna have a problem with Homeland Security doing their job. Them are the only people that's gonna have a problem because they're out there not doing their job. They are terrorists in the police department, baby. And that's why you got to listen to their language. Because in their mind, they taught themselves the wrong way. They thought that the local police, the sheriff department, state troopers and stuff had control over the land. That they can get into those departments and run the city that way, right? That's why they hired themselves into the police department, into mayor offices, right? Because they miseducated themselves, right? Through these colleges on law and try to rewrite their own law, right? So let's continue on to break this language down. This is for learning purposes only.
Because I got an inside look with several different police officers that work for Chicago PD that is telling me what is happening behind the scenes.
Now, how would he have some inside information from the CPD, Chicago Police Department? How would he have some inside information on the police department on what's going down before it go down? And he is just a YouTube video influencer, right? That sounds like somebody inside the police department that ICE looking for.
So regardless of what the media is telling y'all, the greatest thing that happened in media is that we got independent content creators that have their own sources.
So today you notice how I'm talking about something, he come back and rebuttal on it. But we're gonna cut his video off because I don't want to get flagged for using too much of his time after we heard that part. But yeah, I just want y'all to overstand this digital war, right? Because they can do a voiceover, right? And talk to you while they looking at you through your computer screen, right? While your microphone and stuff is on. And that's how he's able to talk to me back and forth, right? Through this screen while he's doing his show because he's changing up the language, right? But go check his show out, right? And compare and listen to this language, right? Because you hear how they have inside scoop before it's a scoop or a dig or a shovel or appearance. Out of the darkness came the light. And you lot with Snapchat Queen AI chatbot friend. Boy, we got to decode this word. This video was for learning purposes only. I do not own the audio of that clip that you heard off YouTube. It comes from my brother Anton Daniels. I ain't downgrading his page or whatever his work, but we just learning language right now, right? We decoding some of this word because, like I said, sometimes you can be listening to one conversation, right? But you don't hear the real conversation because it's two different languages, right? Because one definition that you think that you have is not the same definition that somebody else have, right? So we have to compare the language, right? So that we can meet somewhere in the middle so that we can create a standing so that we can stand on something. So y'all, I'll be back. Well, we're going to break down some more of these channels. Now y'all go check my brother out. I appreciate him for that.